Hey everybody, thanks for checking out today's video and podcast on some of the most common tactics that Flippa sellers use to pump up the value of their websites before dumping them onto newbie buyers who don't have the experience yet to discern those tactics. I want to preface that I do not think that all Flippa sellers are trying to dupe new buyers, but I will say that there are some sellers on Flippa who are. I felt like I had to make this video and record this podcast after the terrible experience I had with Flippa.com, especially after sharing my website Worth It series with the community there. If you haven't been following along since my first website Worth It series, then you most likely don't know that my official 1000 Red Gates account was banned on Flippa.com. Flippa will tell you that my account was banned because I broke one of their policies, which is self-promotion, and there is truth in that. But what Flippa will not tell you is that what they told me by email, which is that we do not share mutual interests, and that is why they will not ever reinstate my account going forward, even though self-promotion that I did do typically receives a ban of about 1 month. And even in regards to my self-promotion, it was a value add to the community of buyers who appreciated being able to see deep reports of the website that the seller was not providing. My original ban came because the seller of a website that I did my analysis on completely went berserk after watching my video. In the analysis, I showed a few tactics that the seller was using to add value to their site that would not be sustainable over the long term and in turn would come apart in the hands of a new buyer, or what I would like to call pump and dump tactics. My analysis was then shared with the other potential buyers who contacted me privately, thanking me for the analysis, which helped them make a more informed buying decision. I'm sure they would have thanked me publicly, but between Flippa banning my main account and my secondary accounts and the seller furiously deleting every one of my comments, there was really no opportunity for any public discourse. Some of the buyers are now my clients, and I'm professionally helping them find a Flippa website to buy that fits their budget, time commitments, and skill set. I charge a flat rate of $100 per month and a 2.5% acquisition fee of the website sale. It's exactly what Flippa charges for their Flippa Finder service, except I don't work for Flippa in any way and have no additional incentives to point buyers at a site that isn't a great fit for them. If you're interested in hiring me to help you source a Flippa website to buy, just comment below or send me an inbox message on YouTube or a voice message on Anchor Podcast. Now with that out of the way, let's just jump right into the 3 tactics that Flippa.com sellers use to pump up the value of their websites before dumping them off onto newbie buyers. Tactic number 1 that some Flippa.com sellers use to pump up the value of their website is by pumping up the number of their backlinks, which increases the search engine result page position rank of their website, thus increasing the organic traffic from search engines. From a technical aspect, there's actually nothing wrong with this. Increasing the number of backlinks pointing to a page on your website in order to increase its domain and page authority for the purpose of achieving a higher search engine result page position is a solid search engine optimization strategy. In addition, backlinks are one of the 3 most important search engine ranking factors. The issue is with some Flippa sellers is how they go about getting those backlinks and where they are getting the backlinks from. Some Flippa sellers who participate in pump and dump e-commerce website schemes get their backlinks by buying them in huge volumes from very low domain and very low page authority backlink farms. The sheer number of backlinks pointing to the target website quickly increases the website's rank in Google search engine result pages, getting a good pump in traffic. The dump happens when the website is sold to a new buyer, and Google tracks down the bad backlinking and then penalizes the site. This penalization erases the pumped up traffic and in turn the sales or advertising revenue that the seller claimed the new buyer would make. Link building search engine optimization tactics like these are being vigilantly watched by Google and are 100% against Google's link schemes guidelines. One of the best ways to build backlinks is to create what the digital marketing industry calls linkable assets. A linkable asset is a piece of content that is just too good to ignore and one that will have other websites talking about it. For example, I could create an infographic that I created after scraping the entire Flippa.com website. And with that infographic, I could show what the sales price of websites are based on metrics like website age, website revenue, website profit. To those in the buy and sell website industry, this infographic would be very valuable, and it would start a conversation that would link back to me as the source, sending valuable backlinks to my YouTube page. Let's take a look at some signs that a website is pumping up the number of their backlinks. The first telltale sign is an unnatural backlink profile. An unnatural backlink profile is when you see a website receiving backlinks to its domain that does not fit the website's behavior and is out of ordinary in terms of backlink volume. For example, when doing a backlink analysis of the page and then looking at the graph historically, you can see how many backlinks a website is receiving per month. Websites with unnatural looking backlinks will have what the search engine optimization industry calls backlink spike days, where all of a sudden the website receives a huge amount of do follow links with a very specific keyword rich anchor tag. This is usually a sign that a seller just purchased backlinks from a backlink farm. This practice of buying links from link farms is usually detectable by Google and subsequently results in a rank penalization on the website. That's not to say a website cannot naturally go from a small amount of links to a large amount of links in a short period of time. This happens all the time when a website goes viral or has huge press coverage or launches a new popular product or a newly created linkable asset. The way to tell is to see who the backlinks are coming from and why, and also what page they are linking to. If the website is just getting a huge volume of backlinks for no good reason, it usually means that they are doing dodgy black hat SEO practices that will eventually lead to penalization by Google. Here's a quick way to see if the backlinks are fake. The backlinks send zero traffic from the referring backlink page to the target website page. Typically, if a backlink is a quality backlink, it will come from a website that shares relevant topical information with the target site. So if a person is reading content on the page where the backlink came from, they would naturally click on that link and go to the target website, giving the target website valuable and relevant traffic. What you'll usually find with websites using backlink farms rather than earning their backlinks naturally is that the referring page with the backlink on it does not send any traffic to the target page. This is a sign that the backlink is not natural and is also a factor Google takes into consideration when gauging a backlink's quality. Next, the referring backlink page receives zero traffic from Google search to the referring page that's backlinking to the target website. This is a quick way to see if a backlink is fishy, unnatural, or low quality. If the referring backlink page itself receives no traffic from Google, that usually means the page is not providing any value to Google searches. Google sees this as an indicator of a low quality backlink because, let alone is the backlink not passing traffic to the target website, the backlink is on a referring page that receives no traffic itself from Google searches. You want a backlink from a page that receives good traffic itself so that it increases your chance of getting traffic from it. Why would you want a backlink from a website that passes your website no traffic? The next clear sign is that there are multiple links from the same referring domain page to the target page. A common black hat SEO tactic is to gain a huge volume of backlinks fast, and it's what's typically called site-wide backlinks. This is where the referring domain puts a backlink in a section of the website that gets reproduced every single time a new page gets created on the website. For example, the footer section. This black hat SEO tactic is one of the simplest for Google to catch, but is still practiced among some Flippa sellers today. Next up are toxic links. These are websites that have been identified as toxic by digital marketing websites analysis tools like Ahrefs. Using their own internal metrics, the software isolates websites that are clearly up to no good. Some Flippa sellers who are bad actors will typically have a large percent of their backlinks marked as toxic. They will try to lie to you to tell you that they are just victims of a link farm attack from their competitors, that they did not buy the black hat SEO backlinks themselves. But don't fall for their sob story, because if they were telling the truth, then they would have already manually disavowed the backlinks in their Google Search Console, which is something they have total and complete control over. One of the final things that you'll recognize with an unnatural backlink profile is that the referring page does not share relevant topics to target pages. For example, the referring page will be from a website based on medical supplies, while the target website is based on makeup products. Most Flippa sellers participating in these backlink pumps don't really care where their backlinks are coming from or if they are relevant, but Google does. As part of their link scheme analysis, Google does understand whether or not websites share similar topics. If you think about backlinking as a popularity contest, consider each backlink as a vote, but not all votes are created equal. Google weighs votes from referring websites that share similar topics with a target website higher than those that do not share similar topics. Those are just some of the ways that some Flippa sellers use black hat search engine optimization link building to pump up their websites before dumping them. If you have any questions about that specific topic, leave them in the comments section below for this YouTube video or drop me a voice message on Anchor. Now let's move on to a lesser known tactic that some Flippa sellers use to pump up their traffic before dumping the website onto a new buyer. I call this method the brand bait. Brand baiting is when a Flippa seller makes a website closely imitating another brand that doesn't have a website, that is typically a brick and mortar business and that is in a different country than the Flippa seller is in. The Flippa seller's website masquerades as the website of the actual brick and mortar brand that doesn't have a website, or if they do have one, the website has been SEO'd out by the Flippa seller who's using black hat SEO tactics to outrank them. The consumers of the brick and mortar brand, searching Google for the brand name of the brick and mortar brand, get baited into thinking the website of the Flippa seller is the right one. Some consumers realize that the Flippa seller website is not the brand they were searching for and bounce off of the website directly from the homepage. But others don't. The ones that haven't realized that the website they are visiting is not the brand they are actually looking for continue to click on and end up buying products from the Flippa seller brand. This tactic generates consistent revenue for the Flippa seller using brand baiting and brand confusion. This is exactly what happened in the first ever and now infamous Website Worth It series video that I made a week or so ago. There was a popular listing that was being auctioned on Flippa.com, and it happened to stumble across my desk as my first analysis. Contrary to what the Flippa seller believes, which is that I was working for one of their competitors, I simply chose the website because it was the most active auction listing on Flippa. I assumed that the most auctioned on listing would have been vetted thoroughly by Flippa themselves, but obviously it was not thorough enough. It was during the analysis that I found that the seller website chose a brand name purposefully that belonged to another brick and mortar brand that did not have a strong web presence. We will call the brick and mortar brand the original brand from here on out to make it easy to remember. The Flippa seller's brand chose the name of the original brand and also started selling similar products, which in that case happened to be women's clothing. For years, the Flippa seller was generating revenue from this brand-baited website, tricking consumers into thinking that they were buying from the original brand. At some point, the original brand learned of this Flippa seller because the original brand's consumers told them that they had purchased from the Flippa seller online. The original brand tried to get the seller brand taken down but could not because the seller was based out of Latvia and out of reach of USA trademark law. The Flippa seller was boasting on their Flippa listing that they never had to do any marketing to get the revenue they were getting for the website they were selling. The reason they did not have to do any marketing, though, was because the original brand was doing it, and the Flippa seller just had outranked them and siphoned their traffic. Unfortunately, brand baiting has become a very common tactic among bad actors in the Flippa marketplace. The money is just too easy for them to ignore. Fortunately, spotting a brand-baited website isn't that hard, and that's what we will learn how to do next. The easiest way to spot a brand-baited website is to look at the keywords driving traffic to the website. Brand-baited Flippa websites tend to have keywords in their organic keywords traffic report that are the name of the brand plus a city name. For example, the Flippa seller brand from the first video I mentioned was called Easy Pickins. The organic keyword traffic to the Flippa seller website showed that people were searching for Easy Pickins, New York, Easy Pickins, Philadelphia, Easy Pickins, New Jersey, and other branded keywords associated with a physical locale. This was an immediate red flag because the Flippa seller's website was an online-only business and did not have a real-world footprint for store locations. That's when I decided to dig deeper and found that the original brand, buried a few search engine result pages below the Flippa seller's website, actually did not have a website and was only using their Instagram page. Had they chose to use a full-fledged e-commerce website to showcase their brand, the Flippa seller would have had a much harder time outranking them. A way to confirm if a Flippa seller's website is brand baiting after checking the organic backlink keyword traffic is to see what their bounce rate is. An e-commerce Shopify store has an average bounce rate of about 60%. So when you see a bounce rate in the 80% or above from Google source traffic, know that there is some disconnect between the people searching and the website. For a brand-baited Flippa seller website, the disconnect is the people searching for the original brand were instead finding the Flippa seller's website and in turn bounced off immediately. The last tactic we are going to go over has more to do with hiding the pumping and dumping tactics than it does with doing it. What some Flippa sellers will do on their Flippa seller page is not show their Google Analytics or verify their Google Analytics. Or if they have it verified, they will only showcase the last quarter or last few months of activity. They do this to cover up their pump and dump tactics. The ways to get around this is to tell the seller to verify through Flippa all the months that match the website's age. Better yet, have them share viewing access directly from their Google Analytics dashboard, but make sure they haven't altered their dashboard view settings to conceal their data. Some Flippa sellers also like to invest marketing dollars to temporarily pump up sales rather than showing longer historical analytics data. They won't mention the marketing spend at all and will try to pass it off as something else. The Google Analytics hiding is the easiest tactic to recognize. Never buy a website that doesn't share its Google traffic with the buyer community. If you're interested in buying a website that isn't disclosing its Google Analytics, then ask the seller for guest access to their Google Analytics dashboard. If they say no, run for the hills, my friends. And there you have it. Those are just a few of some of the most common tactics that some Flippa sellers use to pump and dump websites on newbie buyers. We went over the backlink pump up method, the brand baiting method, and the Google Analytics misdirection method. I really hope you all found this video and podcast to be helpful, and I hope it added some value for you when trying to find a Flippa website to buy. If you enjoyed this video and the content I'm producing, please subscribe to this new channel, hit that notification bell, and give this video a big thumbs up. If you're new here, then you don't know that I'm pretty much at war with the bad actor Flippa sellers who have been making a fortune off duping new Flippa buyers using tactics like the one I went over today. These sellers are furious at me because I am single-handedly outing their devious tactics and low-grade websites. I've been threatened with getting doxxed, I've been banned off Flippa, and I've had my YouTube videos mass flagged to get them removed, and my videos mass thumbs down to stop their traction. All I want in support is for you guys who appreciate what I'm doing to just subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, or just show your support in the comments below. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing no matter what, but with a little bit of support, it definitely helps. And based on some of what my viewers and listeners have been asking me, I have decided to add a new segment to the YouTube channel and Anchor podcast. I'll be reviewing and going over what plugins you should or shouldn't download and install for your e-commerce website on Shopify or WooCommerce, and how to use those plugins effectively should you choose to download them. If you think this is valuable for you, then stick around for the next video. And thanks again, everybody, for checking out the latest episode of 1000 Red Gates YouTube channel and Anchor podcast channel. Hope to see you guys around again soon. Peace.